let's forget it. Let's just grab this Ash Warrior Axe. You might be wondering, actually I don't think anyone would be wondering that, but you might be wondering, who's an Ash Warrior? We'll figure it out in just a second. This is what I wanted to do before. Actually, no, yeah, actually I want to do that first before I go and find Alistair. Can I go down here on things? Oh yeah, I can. Fantastic. There's a bunch of stuff to do here, guys, so bear with me. This area is filled with things to do.
You there, elf. What's your name?
It's Pick, sir.
Go tell Teyrn Loghain that the war party's ready to begin scouting. We'll send word if we find anything amiss.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
He's kind of important, so we're gonna have to talk to him later. But before that...
What do you need? You haven't brought more instructions from the Teyrn, I hope.
More instructions?
Teyrn Loghain has changed our scouting route a dozen times. If you're not from the Teyrn, what do you want? We're busy.
You don't look like any of the other soldiers in the army. You kind of look like, well, more badass.
We aren't. We're Ash Warriors.
Ash Warriors? What the hell is that?
Our training has been passed down since Loghain the Dwarf Son first harnessed the battle rage of the dwarves. It is an old tale.
Well, if the dog would stop barking, then telling the story would be a lot easier. Thank you very much. So what does an Ash Warrior do? Actually, let me just hear this tale first.
I am no bard, but I will do my best. Loghain was a Clane tribesman. Some said he was too short to be a warrior, but he was strong and fierce. His chieftain sent him to the dwarves of Orzammar to negotiate an alliance, where he fell in love with the king's daughter, Skya, and brought her back to his tribe. She taught Loghain to use the dwarven battle wrath to summon his strength and ignore all pain. Loghain then taught this to the Clane, who made him their chieftain.
What happened to him?
Loghain's prowess earned him the love of Morriganen, a beautiful chieftain of another tribe. When Skya learned of his seduction, she returned to her people. Loghain was grieved. He sent Morriganen away, but this only vexed her, and began a long war between their tribes. In the end, Loghain slew Morriganen in single combat. However, his wounds were great, and he perished when the rage ended. The dwarves came from Orzammar that day, and gave Loghain an honored burial in the mountains. And we live by his teachings, even today.
Yeah, you know what? You are no bard. I'm joking, dude. Your storytelling prowess is fantastic. So whatever happened to his wife, Skya?
It is said that before the final battle, she returned to Loghain and gave him a shirt of dwarven chain, along with a final night of passion. Then she was gone forever. If she lived on in Orzammar, only the dwarven folk could say for certain.
A final night of passion and a shirt. Now that's what I call an adventure. An interesting legend. Thank you for telling me.
It was an honor.
Oh, it was indeed, I bet. So what does an Ash Warrior actually do? What do you actually do? Like, I mean, in battle?
We harness the rage inside us, nurture it, and draw it out so we cannot fall in battle until our last foe is slain. It is a dwarven discipline, but we've adapted it to let us fight alongside our hounds. That is our way. I trust my hound with my life, as he trusts me with his.
Whoa, that actually sounds pretty great. I should probably be going. That was a very long story, though.
My thanks. There is hunting to be done, and I'll not be kept from it.
Important, you have to listen to that story if you want to get this codex. There's no other way to get it, so... You know, that's why I did it. I also think the story is pretty cool. It kind of gives you more insights on, like, kind of a specialization. I remember that... Well, I'm struggling with my words here. You guys remember I talked about specializations? What specializations warriors can get and versus rogues and mages and all that. That is not an actual specialization you can get in Origins, but that's kind of an example of the things that you can get. Just different warrior styles and combat stances, I guess. Hey, there's the guy again. Let's see if we can follow him. Let's see where he goes. He's actually holding something very important that we may want, so it's very important to see where he goes. And he's gonna talk to the King's Guard, probably sending him a message. Let's see if we wait here just for a second, see where he goes. I'm not sure how long it's gonna take, though. Okay, alright. Well, we better keep an eye on him. See if we can talk to this guard while still looking at him. I think it's gonna work.
You approach the tent of Teyrn Loghain. State your business.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Look at him. Look at him. He goes up there. We're gonna go there later. Is the Teyrn inside? What is it doing?
He's inside, but I don't think it's my place to discuss his activities.
You guys remember I talked about the nobility a lot. You guys remember I talked about me being the Teyrn, or I guess my dad being the Teyrn, and I also talked about this other guy being the second Teyrn, the most important nobility in Ferelden. Well, this is the other guy. This is Teyrn Loghain. Very, very big fella. He's kind of a legend, so I think it would be very interesting for us to meet him. I would like an audience with the Teyrn, please.
I suppose you have a message for him. Hold on, then.
Yes, what is it? Oh, you're Duncan's new Grey Warden, I assume.
That's me.
Kaelin's fascination with the Wardens goes beyond the ordinary. Are you aware his father brought your order back to Ferelden?
Very important to know, guys! Story time! So, before all this happened, before, well, I guess where Marek brought them back, so the Grey Wardens were actually kicked out of Ferelden. The reason for that was because apparently there was a plot from the Grey Wardens to take over the Ferelden throne, which, well, it's allegedly, right? We still haven't got to that, and I guess we'll get to that later. For now, all you have to know is that there was a plot, so they were kicked out, and, well, Marek kind of loved the Grey Wardens and their stories, so they were allowed to be back, which is important. But that's one of the reasons why there aren't really that many Grey Wardens here in this area, which is why this whole castle of Ostagar is, well, why it doesn't have as many Grey Wardens as it should have versus other lands. Very important to know! I didn't know that. Well, actually, I did. I just told you guys that.
Marek respected the Grey Wardens. They have an honored place in the hearts of our people. Marek would have understood that it takes more than legends to win a battle. That's not an argument I'll repeat here. You look familiar. Have I seen you at the Lands meet?
Yeah, actually, my dad was the Teyrn of Eber.
The king told me of his promise. I'm certain he has every intention of following it through. I don't suppose you'll be riding into the thick of battle with the rest of your fellows, will you?
I hope so. Oh, I hope not.
You're wiser than you look.
Damn it.
Now I must return to my task. Pray that our king proves amenable to wisdom, if you're the praying sort.
And if he doesn't?
Then simply pray.
Damn it, I clicked the wrong option there. I'm sorry, guys. King Merrick Teyrn. You get the codex for him. Those things are pretty long. I wish, I really hope you guys are enjoying my whole summary of him. I think it's pretty sweet. But that's the Teyrn of Gwaren, guys. We don't ever really get to experience Gwaren, which is kind of sad in this game. I wish you could. There's so many areas in this game, man. Ferelden is so big. Like, if you're a nerd like me and you follow the lores and you know, the maps and all the areas you can actually, well, that exist within the land, you'll be a little disappointed. You can explore a lot of areas in Origins, but there's just so much more to this place, and I wish you could go to all of them. Anyways, we saw the Elven go up here, so why don't we follow him a little bit?
Look carefully, man. This wretched thing is a darkspawn. They're strong and cunning and smart, but don't listen to those old wives' tales. They can be killed. Stick them with your sword enough, and they go down. Their blood is black as sin and poisonous. Don't even touch it. You get tainted with that blood, and you may as well slit your throat. We've lost many dogs already. Had to muzzle them to keep them from biting. It's a long and painful way to die.
Well, way to scare the soldiers. This is a Genlock. It's kind of your standard darkspawn. There's mostly two types of darkspawns, the ones that you're gonna fight the most. The Genlock, which is this, and a Hurlock, which I guess you will see later. Anyways, it's got a sweet-ass look in there before we go and fight them. Very cool, very cool. What's a little chance here we can get? As you can see, you don't really get that many cool items from chests around, but it's experience, and there are things that you can sell. You know, especially good if you don't have enough money for the backpack. Kinda, I don't know why it took too long to say that word, backpack. So if you don't have enough money, just make sure to grab all those chests and sell those items. That'll probably help you out.
This is supposed to be the battle that sends these darkspawn back underground. You believe that?
I don't know what to believe. We've won every battle, but there's more of them each time.
Makes you wonder if them Grey Wardens are right.
I don't want to think about that.
Sounds like the perfect time to get drunk, if you ask me.
There you go. As you can see, not everyone shares the adoration of the Grey Wardens as the king does. Which, well, obviously puts a lot of people in unease, just like it does to Teyrn Loghain. Anyways, look who we have here.
Hello? I'm sorry, is there something you needed?
You just wanted to talk.
You want to talk to me? I'm not in trouble, am I?
Well, I'm afraid so.
Then what is... Oh, wait. Are you the one I'm supposed to give Sir Garland's sword to? Because I think the smith's done with it.
Yes, you're supposed to give that sword to me.
Oh, that's such a relief. You really saved me from the switch for sure. I'd best get back to my duties again before I get in more trouble.
And there we go, we get an item! And what item could that be? That is Sir Garland's sword! It's actually pretty sweet, it's pretty much on par with the family sword. It's very important to know because, well, if you don't get the sword, if you kind of made that mistake and you kind of went through the story without getting it, or if you're from another origin where you don't actually get a sword, then this is pretty good. It's pretty sweet. We can equip it later. For now, we don't even have the strength, but it doesn't matter. I think I know what character to equip it to. Anyways, persuasion check, very important, guys. You do have to lie to him, which is kind of lame, but, you know, the things that you have to do to get weapons. Anyways, got someone praying here.
The all before me is darkness, yet shall the Maker's light be my guide.
And that's it. Man, this place looks beautiful. I gotta say, really, I love it. I love it so much. They really did a good job with the backgrounds. I love
Blessed are the peacekeepers, the champions of the just.
Let's get some sex, and we are pretty much close to being done. I know this is taking forever, guys, and I know that it might look to you guys as if I'm stalling. I'm not stalling. I just really want to make sure that I do everything in this game. It's very important. It's what I'm trying to do here. You know? It's kind of... I guess a lot of people still don't understand the concept of what I'm trying to build here, so... This is supposed to be a combination of my secrets video with a let's play, and that's why it's become kind of a walkthrough. And I'm really hoping that you guys are enjoying it. Let me know if you guys enjoy this whole kind of vibe that I'm trying to portray here. Just making sure that everyone knows everything there is to know about the game, every conversation, every secret item, all of it. Trying to show everything there is to show. I don't know. It's gonna take a very long time, guys. This whole series is gonna take forever, but I'm hoping that it's gonna be great. Anyways, we got a couple of servants here. Not very important. What I'm trying to get here, however, is the chest. We got a chest, a shield, experience, not too big. What's big, however, I don't even know. That's a weird thing to say. We got Alistair, which was who we were trying to find in the first place.
What is it now? Haven't Grey Wardens asked more than enough of the Circle?
I simply came to deliver a message from the revered mother, Sir Mage. She desires your presence.
What her reverence desires is of no concern to me. I am busy helping the Grey Wardens, by the King's orders, I might add.
Should I have asked her to write a note?
Tell her I will not be harassed in this manner.
Yes, I was harassing you by delivering a message.
Your glibness does you no credit.
Here I thought we were getting along so well. I was even going to name one of my children after you. The Grumpy One.
Enough. I will speak to the woman if I must. Get out of my way, fool.
You know, one good thing about the Blight is how it brings people together.
And welcome, Alistair, to the Let's Play. Everyone loves this guy. I love this guy, and you can see why. He's just a sarcastic, funny guy. I love him. He's just cool. He's a cool guy. Everyone loves him. You're a very strange man, though.
You're not the first to tell me that. Wait, we haven't met, have we? I don't suppose you happen to be another mage?
No, actually. We haven't met. You must be Alistair.
And that makes you Duncan's new recruit, I suppose. Glad to meet you. As the junior member of the Order, I'll be accompanying you when you prepare for the joining.
Ooh, now can you actually explain what this means?
Honestly, nothing. Try not to worry about it. It will just distract you. So I'm curious. Have you ever actually encountered darkspawn before?
Well, we saw one dead over there, but I don't think that counts.
When I fought my first one, I wasn't prepared for how monstrous it was. I can't say I'm looking forward to encountering another. Anyhow, whenever you're ready, let's get back to Duncan. I imagine he's eager to get things started.
Now, guys, since he's gonna become a companion to our group, you guys remember I wanted to talk about the way characters kind of perceive our own character and their approval rating. I'll show you that a little bit later, but I want to do it now since, well, you currently have the option of increasing the reputation with Alistair. It's a kind of a dialogue option that we're gonna have to choose, and I'll show you which one. Let me just Dragon Age. We're gonna have to get it in a second. First, the argument I saw. What was it about?
With the mage. The Circle is here at the King's request, and the Chantry doesn't like that one bit. They just love letting mages know how unwelcome they are, which puts me in a bit of an awkward position. I was once a Templar.
A Templar? So you were a mage hunter?
Not that that's all Templars do, but yes, the Chantry raised me until Duncan recruited me 6 months ago. I'm sure the revered mother meant it as an insult, sending me as her messenger, and the mage picked right up on that. I never would have agreed to deliver it, but Duncan says we're all to cooperate and get along. Apparently they didn't get the same speech.
Yeah, well, if it was meant to be an insult and he picked up on that, then he would be insulted, right? That's like the common thing to do. What about the other recruits?
Davith and Sir Jory are here in the camp. Have you met them?
Yeah, I've actually met both of them.
That makes things easy then. They'll both be back with Duncan by now.
Now, actually, now that you mention that, I do look forward to traveling with you.
You do? Huh. That's a switch. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, lead on.
And there we get Alistair. Now, again, as I was saying, there is a very important dialogue option that you can get with him, so that you can increase his rating. Before that, I do want to show you what I mean in the first place here. Party members' approval changes based on plot decisions or gifts. High approval provides combat bonuses and possible romance options, while low approval may lead a party member to desert you. Now, why do I think this is cool? I think this is cool because every dialogue option you choose, every choice you make in the game actually has an impact. If you make the wrong choice, people can die, people can hate you, people can leave you. People, you know, if you make the right choices, people will give you items, they'll give you a kiss, they'll give you more experience. Like, things actually happen based on the decisions that you choose. And then based on your decisions, whether they're good or bad, the characters that you're with will approve or disapprove. So for example, Alistair is a funny guy. If you do funny stuff, he'll approve of you and he will like you more, and then his approval will increase. He's also a good guy, of course. So if you do good deeds, he'll kind of will like you more, right? You're gonna have characters that are gonna be more evil in nature, and if you do evil stuff, they'll approve of you, and some other characters that have their own kind of unique moral compass, and you're gonna have to figure out what they like and what they dislike, and kind of, you know, if you want to do that, then you can base your kind of dialogue options based on their characters. But I think it's so cool because if you play this game being yourself, choosing options as you see fit, you kind of get to experience characters. You get to see what characters like are influenced the most by who you are as a person. And it's funny because at the end of the game you can see what characters apply more to who you are as a person. So if I'm a funny guy and I'm a good guy, because that's just who I am, and I choose my options based on that, you will see that Alistair just kind of works well with me. And I love that so much. You can also obviously change things based on, well, their approval rating based on gifts. So for example, we could very well give him the beef bone, which would actually be a good choice. You see, dog actually starts with full approval, since he's like your loyal dog, and well, dogs are adorable that way. They will love you forever. They're the only real friends you have. So he will always love me. So I don't actually have to give him the gift, and I could actually give it to Alistair. So let's do that actually, because I want to show you guys how that works. Wait, not me. Let's go ahead and choose Alistair. Beef bone. Bam!
Is that for me?
Yep, that's for you. Really? He's so happy about it too, but as you can see, it improves his approval rating by 5, which is pretty cool. But I do want to give you guys an example of a dialogue option that actually increases his approval rating. Here you go.
Yes?
Let's see what's the right option here. I have a few questions for you.
What about?
I want to talk about Duncan.
Duncan is the leader of the Grey Wardens in Ferelden, which he would say doesn't mean much, as there aren't many of us here. Yet, beyond that, he's a good man. A good judge of character. I owe him a lot. What about you? What do you think of him?
The right answer for him to like you the most is to say he seems like a kind man, a firm. That'll give him 2 points of approval. But you can also choose, I owe him as well, he saved me. That would only give him 1 point. Any other responses didn't give him anything, doesn't subtract anything from him. So that's just kind of an example of how things can work. I'll choose, he seems like a kind man, a firm.
Fair enough. He's done the best he can with what little he has. And that includes me, I guess. You want to ask me about something else?
Nope, that's actually fine. No more questions.
Then let's get a move on, shall we?
Let's do that. As you can see, boom! Alistair approves +2. That's just an example of how it's gonna work. You're gonna see that happening. If there is a big, massive approval change, or a possible approval change from a dialogue option, I'll show you guys with one of those pop-ups. I'm only gonna do it for the important ones because, I mean, they're gonna change for literally every single goddamn option. For most of them, they will, so That would take forever if I were to like show you guys every single the approval change. So I'll only show you guys the important ones. But anyways, we got I can't talk. We have another circumstance where this approval rating change will kind of come in effect. We have this quest.
Huh. Someone finally comes and talks to the lone prisoner. I don't suppose you've come to sentence me?
No, I haven't.
I don't suppose you have a bit of kindness in you? All I want is food and water. They haven't fed me since I was locked up and I'm starving.
Damn. Huh, I'm wondering, why haven't they fed you?
I expect nobody thought of it with all the battles and such.
Now, we have to figure out what the hell did he do, because he's sitting there, naked, without being fed with what seems like it's blood. We gotta figure out what the hell is there for. Why are you there?
I'm a deserter, or so they think. I bet there's no arguing them out of it, though. Armies are funny that way.
A deserter, huh? And I bet you're as innocent as the sunrise.
I wasn't deserting. But when you catch someone sneaking around camp in the middle of the night, what else are you gonna think? Does it matter? All I want is a bit of food and water.
Alright, fine. If you want to keep your secrets, that's okay. We do have to know what you can give us in exchange for this food and water. It doesn't look like he has anything, but we might as well ask. It matters to me if your cause is just.
You're a funny one. They won't listen to you no matter what you think. Not that I wouldn't mind you trying. You're a good sort. And it's not as if they're wrong. I probably would have deserted later. Just not when they caught me is all. Hope that doesn't spoil your opinion of me. I'm still hungry enough to eat my shoe.
Right. Well, why would I want to help you?
Because you might want something I don't need. Them circle wizards got a chest they keep things in. Magical things. And I stole the key. That's why I'm here. I got one of them drunk, took his key and tried to sneak to the chest. They assumed I was deserting. I can't use it from here. But I'd trade you for some food and water.
And that's why they locked you in there. Well, this is very interesting for that. We can totally do it. I'll see what I can do.
Just ask my guard for his. He's still got some dinner. I saw him put it in his coat.
Now, this is going to be another feature of this Let's Play that I'm about to show you. Whenever there is a different path, I guess, that you can choose on how to finish the quest that is, well, inherently evil, I shall do this. Evil.
What? But you can't do that.
I did not see that coming.
What? What in Andraste's name did you do that for? Just because you're a Grey Warden doesn't give you the right to go and kill anyone you please. Explain yourself.
That way you guys can see if there's something cool that you can do. So one of the options, that's one of the beauties of Dragon Age, that a lot of quests can be finished in multiple ways, some cooler than others. But because we're gonna be playing as a good guy here in this playthrough, for the actual, I guess, canon options, they're all gonna be good, but I can still show you the bad ones because I think some of them are just hilarious. But anyways, there are, well, multiple ways of actually getting this. Let's open up the map. That's not it. Quests, Ostagar, the hungry deserter, make active. The prisoner at the king's camp has begged you for some food. According to him, the guard may have some to give. Let's see where the guard is. Oh, I guess that's supposed to be the guard that's covering him right here. I'm sorry. Got a little distracted, that's all. Anyways, there are multiple ways of getting this. You can either bribe him, you can persuade him, or you can steal it from him. We'll touch on what stealing is in a little bit later, so we're not actually gonna do this. We actually also don't have enough stealing, but I'll get to that later. Anyways.
Lucky dog. You Grey Wardens get to ride with the king while I'm left with the drudgery of guarding this deserter. They should have just hanged him. Put his head on a pike as an example.
Oh, I feel so sad for you. I actually just had a chat with him.
Don't expect it was an enlightening conversation.
No, it wasn't. He did ask for food, though. Apparently you guys aren't feeding him.
Did he now? Since nobody sends me nothing to feed him with, the only way we'll get that is if I give him mine.
Well, why don't you do that?
All right. I guess the poor fella could stand to have one meal in his belly before he hangs. Don't know why you care. I had nothing to do with it, though. If anyone asks why he's burping, I'm gonna say it was you. Just so you know.
That's if it makes a difference, dude. Relax.
So? Brought me some food, have you? I'm so hungry I could faint dead away.
Here you go.
Much obliged. May Andraste herself rain blessings upon you. And, as I mentioned, here's the key. Use it in good health, huh?
Huh. Considering where that came from, let's hope we're not the only ones in good health.
Woo! We get Alistair approved +1, so that's another example of how it works. Fantastic! This is the good way of doing the quest. Of course, you can, again, steal it from him or bribe him. Multiple ways of doing it. Since we're mastering coercion levels, we might as well just do the persuasion because, well, I guess it's the cheap way of doing it, and it also kind of works as us being good, which is fantastic. Now, what is this key used for? If you guys remember the chest right beside the Tranquil, this is the key that opens it. However, if you try to open it...
That course of action is inadvisable.
That's right, you cannot open it yet. We're gonna have to wait until we finish our joining before we can actually open this chest. It's kind of a bummer, but, you know, it's one of the things that you gotta do. Also, there is a DLC that you can get here in this game called Return to Ostagar. You may actually return here to Ostagar after this whole questline is completed, because otherwise you can't. If you do that, you can actually come back and loot this chest if you haven't done so before with this key that we just got. And if you do that, then you get a special reward and you get a super staff, which is kind of cool. We might do it, we might not. I guess it depends on you guys and it depends on me. I'm gonna have to do some research to see if I'm actually gonna need it. But for now, we can't even grab it. It seems to me that we're pretty much done here. There's really nothing else to do. We have pretty much completed the entire Ostagar kind of, well, place here. We talked to everyone that's important to talk to. We've gotten every item. All that we have to do now is talk to Duncan.
You found Alistair, did you? Good. I'll assume you're ready to begin preparations. Assuming, of course, that you're quite finished riling up mages, Alistair.
What can I say? The revered mother ambushed me. The way she wields guilt, they should stick her in the army.
She forced you to sass the mage, did she? We cannot afford to antagonize anyone, Alistair. We don't need to give anyone more ammunition against us.
You're right, Duncan. I apologize.
Now then, since you're all here, we can begin. You four will be heading into the Korcari Wilds to perform 2 tasks. The first is to obtain 3 vials of darkspawn blood, 1 for each recruit.
Darkspawn blood? That's... why would it... what?
For the joining itself. I'll explain more once you've returned.
I'm sure that by now you've acquired more than enough darkspawn blood.
Of course. You must work together to collect the components, however. It's as much a part of the joining as what comes after.
Alright, so the collection of the darkspawn blood is the actual trial, not the blood itself. I see this. Now, what about the second task?
There was once a Grey Warden archive in the wilds, abandoned long ago when we could no longer afford to maintain such remote outposts. It has recently come to our attention that some scrolls have been left behind, magically sealed to protect them. Alistair, I want you to retrieve these scrolls if you can.
Scrolls? That sounds interesting. What kind of scrolls are these, though?
Old treaties, if you're curious. Promises of support made to the Grey Wardens long ago. They were once considered only formalities. With so many having forgotten their commitments to us, I suspect it may be a good idea to have something to remind them with.
Very interesting. As you guys can see, you don't see any elves here, you don't see any dwarves. You know, that's, well, a main reason why. People kind of forgot their commitment to the Grey Wardens, so we have to remember them. That it's, remind them that the Darkspawn are a serious threat. Now, what if they're no longer there?
It's possible the scrolls may have been destroyed or even stolen, though the seal's magic should have protected them. Only a Grey Warden can break such a seal.
I don't understand. Why leave such things in a ruin if they're so valuable?
It was assumed that we would someday return. A great many things were assumed that have not held true.
Sad, sad, sad. But I get it. Find the archive and 3 vials of blood. Understood.
Watch over your charges, Alistair. Return quickly and safely.
We will.
Then may the Maker watch over your path. I will see you when you return.
And we are pretty much done. We got a screenshot, we get a level up, there's so much stuff, guys. We get a new quest. Tainted Blood, and the Grey Wardens Kachi. We'll deal with that on the next episode. For now, one thing I want to touch on, which I think is pretty important, I did mention that I was going to talk about stealing. As you guys can see, I haven't actually done anything with stealing. The reason for that is that I want to focus as much as I can on coercion, since, just for the sake of this Let's Play, and for me to be able to show you everything there is to show you in terms of, well, every possible outcome, I need as much coercion as possible, which means that I need to max this as much as possible. The other thing is that we need combat training in order to actually get sweet skills. So you guys can see, all of this requires expert combat training, improved combat training, like all of this. If I want any actual skills to be able to fight, I might need to invest some points in here. So I just don't have the points to invest in stealing. Like, that's the problem here. Which means that I'm not gonna get it for a while. But because I am a nice guy and I love you peeps, I'm gonna show you every single important thing that you can actually steal. Most people, I'm not gonna show you how to actually steal yet. I'm gonna show you guys later, but you can choose to steal pretty much most characters at least once. Some characters you can do it twice. It really depends on the circumstance, and I'll explain those to you as they become, well, as they show themselves to us. For example, the Quartermaster, if you steal from him, you get a special item, as you guys can see down there. That is one of the only, I guess, steals in the game. They're almost a sure thing. Most stealing requires a certain level of cunning. I guess you guys can see I have 16 cunning. Some of them require a certain amount of cunning to be able to succeed. This one is actually, it always succeeds, which I think is kind of interesting. Every level in stealing reduces the cunning requirement by 5. And then on top of that, every level of stealth, if you steal, well, obviously in stealth, reduces the cunning equivalent by another 5. Very important. So if you have Master Stealth and you're stealthing, you require 20 points of cunning less. If you have all the points...
Sorry, the main army camp is off.
Oh, this is a bug. You can see that I actually got teleported all the way down here. This is a common bug. It happens to me quite a bit. I think it's funny. Anyways, then every point of stealing, if you have master stealing, then, you know, 20 less cunning, which I think is pretty cool. Some of the harder ones will require something like 80, for example. So if you have all of stealth and all of stealing, that'll be like a minus 40. So you still need like 40 cunning to be able to do them. So you do require a lot of cunning if you want to be able to steal a lot of stuff. Most importantly here, I guess you can steal from the Quartermaster. You can also steal from Duncan. Those are the main two guys where you can actually get some interesting items of in this area. Everyone else is just like minor valuable items, nothing too important. But anyways, guys, it's gonna be the end of the episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed. One thing I'm gonna say is that we have reached 200,000 subscribers. Yeah, God, I don't usually, well, I never really do anything about these things. Like I don't really celebrate. I don't make videos for this. I just, you know, I just felt like I needed to mention it because it's kind of a big deal, and I love you peeps, man. You guys are awesome. I love every single one of you guys, and I just wanted to spend at least, if anything, just a minute to tell you guys that I love you, because you guys are important to me, and you guys have given me a great chance here to like have this YouTube channel and do videos and actually make a living out of this, and I love you guys for it. You guys are the best. So I wanted to take just a small minute to say that. You guys are great. Also, if you guys want to participate in the Let's Play, if you guys want to, because I'm going to open up an email just so that you guys can send me clips. If you guys want to participate in the whole interlude where I go, Dragon Age, with the pictures in the middle of every video for the commercial break, you can actually send me a clip of you saying Dragon Age in whatever voice you want. It can be slow, it can be fast, it can be rough, or it can be girly, whatever you want it to be. You can send it to me at the email below in the description, and yeah, and I'll put it in here. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Hopefully I can grab a bunch of you guys and I can have you in the videos saying Dragon Age. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. And yeah, just a small thing I want to do to include you guys. I always look for things and ways to include you guys in the videos. I think it's kind of cool and I love it. But that's gonna be it, peeps. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like, subscribe, something, I don't know. Love you guys, and you all later.
I am ready. I hail from Redcliffe, but Duncan recruited me in Highover, a city off the northern coast. Have you traveled there? My Lord Cousland, I'm honored. I was in Arlayman's retinue when he attended King Maric's funeral. It was in Highever that I met my Helena. I was smitten. She has the most beautiful eyes, my Helena. Now, for years, I found any excuse to return there. We married a year ago. Arl gave me leave to serve in Highever, but I was attempting to persuade Helena to come to Redcliffe with me, at least until I was recruited. Never. I will return to her once my duty is done and the Blight defeated. Last month, Duncan visited Highever, and the band held a tournament in his honor. I won the Grand Melee. It was hard to leave my wife. We married only a year ago, and she is heavy with child now. But Ferelden needs my blade, and I shall not falter. He has a seemingly impossible task, with a scarce handful of Grey Wardens, yet he does not complain or flinch from his duty. We need to find those documents and the darkspawn blood. It should be interesting. Indeed.
I grew up in a village about a day's trip to the east. Little blot you wouldn't even find on a map. Haven't been back in years. I struck out for the city as soon as I could outrun my pa. I've been in Denerim for what, 6 years now? Never liked it much, but there's more purses there than anywhere else. And a pickpocket, thank you very much. Or was, anyhow. Who'd ever guess I'd end up a Grey Warden? I found them. I cut Duncan's purse while he was standing in a crowd. He grabs my wrist, but I squirm out and bolt. The old bugger can run, but the garrison caught me first. I'm a wanted man in Denerim, you see, so they were going to string me up right there. Duncan stopped them, invoked the right of conscription. I gave the garrison the finger while I was walking away. Don't know why Duncan wants someone like me, but he says finesse is important and that I'm fast with a blade. You bet your boots I am. Besides, it beats getting strung up. All right for an old bugger. He's faster than he looks, too. You heard the same speech I did. Blood and old treaties. Off we go into the wilds. Hey, I'm following you, aren't I?